Hello and good evening. I am Nur Fazira Fitri binti Muhammad Asnan. Today I will present the organizational chart of Department of Fisheries Tawau Branch. So this is the organizational chart. So the head of Department of Tawau Branch is Mr. Randy Fazrin Sirens as Fisheries Assistant with G41 whole grade, and under him is Financial and Administration Unit, which is vacant, and under this unit is Financial, is also vacant. And next, the co-workers is General Duties, which is mostly driver, which is Sir Lajim Isnihi, driver number 2, Sir Hamad Jaya, and staff, um, Mrs. Hayati Muhammad. So also, the next unit is Marine Management Unit, which is the head is Mr. Musli bin Sapan as the Fisheries Assistant with G22 grade holder. So under this unit is Permit Unit and License Unit. Permit Unit is supervised by Mrs. Wilin Yasun as Fisheries Assistant with G19 grade, and her assistant is Mrs. Tanti Swana Rahman with G17, and these two is handling the export and import data. For Mr. Razman Rahman, he is in charge of the Kad Pengenalayan Nelayan, which is the license for the fisheries. So next, the purpose of organizational chart. First is to show various roles of employee. It shows their tasks and their department. And other purposes is first budgeting for events, budgeting for bonus, budgeting, and for promotions. So any staff that get promoted can get their right amount of salary. And so next purposes is staffing. This is for human resources department. They can view the organizational chart to find some vacant roles, and then can fill it with by hiring new employees. Next is to motivating staff. It helps them to understand their roles better, their work better, their surrounding better, and also for their future planning. It helps them to know how and where they can get promoted, so it can help for their future planning. And last purposes is for communicating, so they know, so the employee know where to seek helps if they need some helps, and the managers also know where they can find their workers help. So next, the organizational structure used is the hierarchical organizational structure, because the department is divided according to roles and each is supervised by a leader. For example, a permit unit is led by Mrs. Wilin Yasuns, and license unit is led by Mr. Musli Sapan. So the purpose of this organizational structure is first career path. So because it is they are divided with according to the department, so they know uh, how they can get promoted. For example, for this department, they can get promoted by upgrading their grade. And next, clear reporting. Uh, for example, uh, the work is divided accordingly to the department, so they know there will be no confusing if something happened, and if an error occurred, the managers know where to find a workers and can ask them to fix it. And last, the pros is specialization, because they are divided into department by department. So most of the employees is expert in that area. For example, Mrs. Swilin is very expert in permit unit, and Mr. Musli Sapan is very expert in handling the kad pengenalan nelayan. So next is the cons for this organizational structure: lack of teamwork. And for example, if Mr. Musli and Mr. Razman is not available on the company, and if something error occurred for the kad pengenalan nelayan, then the other employee cannot help much because they know nothing. They really does not know how to handle the kad pengenalan nelayan, sorry, and restricted information, just like as I was saying, because they are only expert for in their department, so they can really help in other, and they don't really know what is actually going on in another department. So this is very not helpful in that department, in that organization. So duties and responsibilities of director, assistant director, and officers in government. For directors, according to the Company Act 2016, the duty number one is to carry out proper purpose and act good. This is to help them, to allow them to achieve the organization goals. Duty number two is avoid conflict of interest, which means a director should not use uh, the the property of company of organization for their personal use. So next, assistant director duties and responsibilities is to assist the directors in achieving the goals of the organization. And in some company, they also handle the hiring, training for practical students, and evaluations to promote their employees. So lastly, officers are usually handling and managing task project given by directors, supervisors, managers. So they also help in daily operations. So last, I will present the major problems and solutions I suggested of the Department of Fisheries Tower branch, which first, lack of disciplines, because this organization does not provide the punch card or thumbprint system. Therefore, the employee, usually they came in to work late, but they went home early than it's supposed to be. So this is very not fair for the other employee. So I suggest to the Department of the Fisheries of Tower branch to provide punch card or thumbprint systems so they can work more efficiently and fairly. Next is bad customer service, because there are only one customer's counter open in that department, and actually there are various businesses happen there, like kad pengenalan nelayan, and the permit unit, and renewal of kad pengenalan nelayan, and registering of kad pengenalan nelayan, and so on. It is very wasting time for a customer to wait for another customer to finish their business. It is very wasting time. So I suggest them to open up another customer counter so they can divide customers by their business. So this can be time labor. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much.